Receiving the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joseph R. Biden Jr. for a lifelong commitment to using his media and philanthropic platforms to help build a stronger nation. A host of Tavis's family, friends, colleagues, and luminaries, including LA Mayor Karen Bass, joined in the celebration. KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to thank the following partners for their support: the Weingart Foundation, Dr. Shikari Byerly, Rodrigo Byerly, and the team at Aviterus Public Opinion Research, Waters Tax Service, LA Councilmember Heather Hutt, the Empowerment Congress, Wallace and Renee Fortuné, the IQ Air Foundation, Dr. Kenneth Arduna and Central Neighborhood Christian Health Clinics, LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn, Ambassador Michael A. Lawson, Ambassador Charles R. Stiff, and Attorney John E. Sweeney. Congratulations, Tavis, on your Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss you. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad touch routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Dr. Romney, let's start talking about what self-sabotaging is.
So self-sabotaging literally is what it sounds like. It's when a person literally undercuts their ability typically to achieve a goal. So, or an intention of any kind. It doesn't even have to be as aspirational as a goal. It's just even daily health habits, from getting a decent night's sleep, to eating healthy, to brushing their teeth. I mean, it can be any small health habits, big health habits. And they almost set things up in a way, not intentionally, but in a way that they're not even fully aware of, that all but guarantees a fail. And I always tell my clients that self-sabotage is a way to support your dysfunctional hypothesis. So if your hypothesis is, I'm a failure, and then all these self-sabotagey things come out, there's a certain satisfaction at the end of the day saying, hey, look, I'm a failure. You know, like there's this almost very upside down kind of win that takes place. And I have to say, self-sabotage in some form plagues over half of the clinical population I work with. And that when they're able to see it, they don't even think of it at the time. But it's almost as though they come to each session presenting the week's failures to me.
Wow.
You know, like a prize, like a confirmation. At least I was right about that, right? And that I sometimes wonder if the self-sabotage, which is then associated with the whatever negative position they're trying to maintain, becomes the one part of their life they can control.
Wow, that was so beautifully said. Grace, when you're working with clients, what are some common ways that people self-sabotage?
One that came to mind as I was listening to Dr. Romani share is about finances. A fascinating form of self-sabotage could be, let's say, for example, you really respect your father, and the most he ever made was $75,000 a year. And all of a sudden, you in your adult life can't seem to ever make more than $75,000 a year. And in the process of hypnotherapy, you come to understand that it would be disrespectful to earn more than your father.
Whoa.
And so that's common also if you don't believe you're worthy or deserving of earning a certain amount. And another massive one is if you hate rich people. Because again, your subconscious is here to keep you safe. So if somebody cuts you off in a regular car and you're annoyed that they've done that, but you move on with your day. But then somebody cuts you off in a Corvette. And it's not just that they were a rude driver, it's they're that rich, right? Must be nice. Your subconscious will never allow you to become something you hate. ever. And so what happens is money comes in, it goes out. Or you don't have the confidence to ask for the raise that you're worthy and deserving of. Or you don't go for the positions that would actually compensate you in the way that you are worthy and deserving of. So there are so many ways that we self-sabotage, but one of the most fascinating ways is financially.
Yeah, I've never understood.
Man, oh man, a Shevitz. Your self-conscious, subconscious, will never let you become something you hate. So when you love unconditionally the primary caregiver that hurt you, you're destined to become them. What? Yeah, that just happened right here. That just happened. The only help there is self-help. But you can't help yourself until you accept yourself. And many of us will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid accepting ourselves, even looking at ourselves. That's Carl Jung. We don't even want to see ourselves, let alone accept ourselves. Yikes. We could throw daddy away, but we'll keep mama. Right? Shaquille O'Neal threw dad away. His biological father threw him away. LeBron did the same. Threw him away. But it doesn't matter how toxic mama. Do you understand how powerful mama and the mother wound is? This is why the sister, LMFT, Delana Zimmerman said, there are no father wounds because fathers come from mothers. So she said there's only the mother wound. Talk to me, brother.
One of the most when I do my show, we tend to have a live audience. Mm-hmm. So one of the most powerful shows that we did was titled "I'll Always Love My Mama." Mm. Can we question how black women are mothering their children?
I ain't gonna question my mom.
It was go ahead. It was a really powerful show, but the sisters in the audience were extremely upset at the fact that we were questioning things, and that we were pointing out things mm-hmm. to a point where they couldn't even hear the love. Mm-hmm. Like one of the brothers said, my mom didn't get a 6th grade education, but she made sure that I understood the value of an education.
Right.
And today I'm back in school, almost 50 years old, getting my doctor's degree. Mm-hmm. And what the young lady heard him say was, his mother was dumb. And he said no. And I mean, the rest of the guys, we were all saying, no, that's not what he's saying.
Right.
He said because she went so far, she made sure that he understood the value of it. Mm-hmm. But she was, in a different place. So how we look at our moms is interesting. I was very fortunate. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I was very fortunate because I was my mother's primary caregiver. Mm-hmm. And then, so in the last 6 years, she and I spent a lot of time together. We got very, very close. Mm-hmm. And we began to deal with things that we hadn't dealt with before.
Right.
Right. So the things that she was hiding, she began to, we just really went through a process and we just really dealt with it. Got extremely close.
Right.
Before she left us. So that was something I didn't ever anticipate happening. Mm-hmm. But because she got to the point where I had to care for her every day and we had to spend every day together, it was a slow process, but it was a necessary process.
That's like my best friend right now. His mother's 98 years old. He's her caregiver. And he loves the whole process. I think sometimes because mother is a superhero mm-hmm. in our life, mother is a deity mm-hmm. in our life, we just accept her unconditionally. Right. And that's all right. This isn't to besmirch any mothers out there. And I think we do a disservice to our mothers by not seeing, yes, they have a divine side,
But we do a disservice when we don't see them as a work in progress, a human being as well, because we have these expectations. A good mama would do this. If a mother who cared, sometimes we have to see our mothers as works in progress too, doing the best that they can do at their current level of development.
See them as people.
See them as a human being.
Yeah, we have that thing where, excuse me, we say a good man or a good woman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we're saying is there's no such thing as a good man or a good woman. All of us are good, all of us are bad, and all of us have an ugly side.
Right.
So when you come to that realization about yourself, you can actually see it in everybody else. And then you can offer everybody grace.
Right. I love that. I love that. Let's get her back in here. Nzinga. Sister Nzinga,
Hello.
please give me your final thought. I know you got something for me.
Yeah, so my final thought, and you might not necessarily agree with me, nobody might necessarily agree with me, but I guess that's not my real concern. It's just what I observe and how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, I guess, especially when you've gone through trauma,
mm-hmm.
getting to the work, sometimes you have to decompress.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be moving a little slower,
mm-hmm.
going to bed on time,
mm-hmm.
eating.
Mm-hmm.
So, or maybe taking a bath,
mm-hmm.
or maybe going to get a pedicure.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people may see that as distractions, but depending on where you're coming from or what type of trauma you had, sometimes you may need to decompress a bit.
And why do you think why do you think we disagree with that? Or I disagree with that?
No. Well,
I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like, I 100% agree with what you're saying. So,
when I a lot of times when you mention self-care, soft life, or just different things, the reactions that you get from people, I guess they're not looking at it from a person who may need it.
Right.
From their point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people may see it as lazy,
mm-hmm.
Maybe taking an easy way out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just
let me stop you because that's a good point. Lazy or taking the easy way out. That's a good point. And the point before was they may need it. That's what she said.
Right.
They may need this.
Right.
So let's address that. If I go to the dentist, I'm
mm-hmm.
going to need that shot. I don't need I don't need the gel. The gel don't ever work. They be like, oh, let's put the gel up. No. I'm going to need about 6 or 7 shots. And I need to almost be unconscious, right, with the shot. Like, I can't feel my eyelids. Right. I can't feel nothing, right? I'm going to need
mm-hmm.
that. I think you're missing, maybe you're not missing it, but for those who might be missing what's happening here, there are people who will try to live off of the Novocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Couched as self-help, couched as soft life, couched as self-care. That's the point I'm making. And as me and Coach Baruti was talking about offline, don't you know the dark night of the soul is self-care?
Mm-hmm.
Go look up the dark night of the soul. You think you think the dark night of the soul is the soft life? It is not. And the point is, yes, you can prepare yourself to do the work. And yes, you can pamper yourself before, during, and after. No one is in disagreement with that. What I'm saying is that can't be self-care alone, right? So when Krishnamurti talks about observation, right, the observance of the self as it is,
mm-hmm.
not the ideal self. No, when I get this degree, man, watch out, world. Wait till I get my money right, boy. I'm gonna be something to do. And we're not talking about these things. We're talking about when you finally get aware enough, conscious enough, to observe yourself as you are, it doesn't frighten you to look upon yourself. That's self-care right there.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. And I'm not talking about the sect that's using self-care as a crutch to not get to the hard part. I'm definitely not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who want to get to the hard part, but maybe need to, just for instance, like EMDR therapy. You can't just that's not something you can just jump into.
Right.
You have to be prepped for that.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my point. Prepping to tend to the wound.
Yes. Yes.
That's self-care.
Oh, I
and
like
so
that.
So I get everything you're saying. I just wanted to add that. I didn't, sometimes people think self-care is laziness and it's not always that, when you're coming out of something traumatic, like fighting that war, maybe you might have to go to an island for 6 months before coming back to America.
Yes. No, you're 100% right. And Zinga, that's why I love and miss your calls, girl, because you always got these amazing perspectives, and you got to call in more. Stop hiding. Bring your tail on back to the voice of reason where you started. Come on back in here, okay? We love you.
Y'all. Good night.
Be safe out there, all right? Man, that was a great call. Yeah. Woo, and Zinga on fire. Listen, if you want to join the conversation with myself and Coach Baruti, all you got to do is hit those digits, 1-800-920-1580. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to College Station, Texas, and we're going to Charleston, South Carolina. The smoke continues.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
And welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments.
Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or diabetes, you're at higher risk of being hospitalized from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
They say it's lonely at the top, and whatever you do, you always gotta watch all the people around you. Nobody's invincible, no plan is foolproof. We all must meet our moment of truth. The same shiesty cats that you hang with and do your thing with could set you up and wet you up. Peep the language, it's universal. You play with fire, it may hurt you or burn you. Lessons are blessings you should learn through, let's face facts. Although MCs lace tracks, it doesn't mean behind the scenes there ain't no dirt to trace back. That goes for all of us, there ain't nobody to trust. It's like sabotage, it's got me ready to bust, but I can't jeopardize what I've done up to this point. So I'ma get more guys to help me run the whole joint. Cultivate, multiply, motivate, or else we'll die. You know I'll be the master of the who, what, where, and why. See when you're shining, some chumps will wanna dull ya. Always selfish, jealous punks will wanna pull ya down. Just like some shellfish in the bucket, cause they love it to see your ass squirm like a worm. But just as you receive what is coming to you, everybody else is gonna get this too. I ain't no saint, therefore I cannot dispute that everyone must...
We are all changing all the time. It is the very nature of existence. So why do some people seem to be changing more than others? Why are some people changing for the better, while others are changing for the worse? And more importantly, how do we take control of the change in our life and decide where it goes? These are the questions that have plagued me since I was young, because I remember a time in my life where I was changing for the worse every day, and I felt like I had no control. I was a teenager, and I had started to become depressed for reasons I didn't understand. Started failing my classes, started smoking cigarettes. I quit my sports teams, fought with my friends and my family. And this was particularly distressing to my mom. She would come into my room every night and ask me questions like, why are you unhappy? How can I help? And mostly because I didn't know the answer, I would just brush her off. And then one night she came in and she asked me something. She said, Charlie, what is going to become of your life? And I will never forget what I said. I told her, I'm going to grow up and be a failure. And I cried harder than I had ever cried that night, because when I said it, I believed it. I believed that there was nothing I could do to change my future. My mom disagreed, and after exhausting a long list of options, she made the hard and drastic decision to send me across the country to a wilderness rehabilitation center in rural West Virginia on the side of a mountain in the Appalachian Mountains. It was a community of similarly emotionally unstable teenagers. And there was a lot of things I learned there, but there was one thing we did every day that really stuck with me. Every morning we would come together as a community, and we would pick one virtue we were going to work on that day. Today, I'm going to work on love. Today, I'm going to work on forgiveness, on mindfulness, on patience. And then we would go about our day as we normally would. And at the end of each day, we would come back together as a community, and we would hold each other accountable. And it went as well as you would expect a community.
Such a powerful testimony. But if you're dealing with a fearful avoidant, dismissive avoidant, anxious preoccupied, love might be a source of pain, right? Like, I want it, but every time I had it, from the beginning, it was painful. It hurt. And I went back to the source of hurt to extrapolate that selfish kind of love that Michael Jackson was talking about in Man in the Mirror, right? Heavy stuff tonight, man, if you're just tuning in. I love that call from Nzinga, man. We're talking about, is or the only help there is self-help. And I'm saying I don't believe you can help yourself until you accept yourself. And that acceptance part, to me, is the biggest part. And Zinga's call was so amazing because it illuminated, everything is on a spectrum. I say autism is on a spectrum. Narcissism is on a spectrum. But so is self-care. And I would say on the lower end, and when I say lower, I don't mean unnecessary, right? I don't mean irrelevant,
Right.
but I mean on the, let's say the preparation side instead of lower, right? On the preparation, getting ready to go into that gym and fight those self wounds, on that side of the spectrum are the activities, the yoga class, the walks, right? The baths, the music, right? That's the gym part. But when you make that walk, like Mike Tyson, with no towel, no robe, no socks, and you about to get in that ring with you, that's still a part, right, of the self-care practice. Talk to me about that, and then we'll go to our next caller.
Excuse me. Well, you know you best. So you're making that walk with Mike Tyson and you get in the ring with you know all your moves. So you can anticipate them, you can prepare yourself for them. But the reality is, I say to my son, you can't win just playing defense.
Come on.
So you're going to have to swing, and you're not going to feel like you're in a fight that you can win unless you connect.
Come on.
So you have to be able to look at yourself and then take those pieces of yourself that you are looking at that, well, you may say it's something that needs work on, and then actually begin to work on it.
Come on. My son was or is left-handed.
Right.
I said, hey, you want to go to UCLA, USC at the time? You got to get that right hand together, or we going to be over here at we going to be at West LA. That's it. Come on. No disrespect to West LA. I'm just saying, you want these scholarships, you better get that right hand together. You better balance that attack. We got a caller on the line. I want to get him, but this is what I'm going to do. Callers, sit tight. We're going to come forward. And after we come forward, we're going to sit down and tackle all of your issues. Trust me, we still got a lot to talk about. Tonight's topic is absolutely amazing. Appreciate y'all.
Things get severe for everybody, everywhere. Why do bad things happen to good people? Seems that life is just a constant war between good and evil. The situation that I'm facing is mad amazing. To think such problems can arise from minor confrontations. Now I'm contemplating in my bedroom pacing. Dark clouds over my head, my heart's racing. Suicide? Nah, I'm not a foolish guy. Don't even feel like drinking or even getting high, cause all that's gonna do really is accelerate the anxieties that I wish I could alleviate. But wait, I've been through a whole lot of other shit before, so I ought to be able to withstand some more. But I'm sweating though, my eyes are turning red, and yo, I'm ready to lose my mind, but instead I use my mind. I put down the knife and take the bullets out my nine. My only crime was that I'm too damn kind. And now some scandalous motherfuckers wanna take what's mine.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Vice President Kamala Harris is defending the Biden administration's border policies. Interviewed on CBS's 60 Minutes, she blamed former President Trump for the increase in border crossings, saying he told his buddies in Congress to kill a bipartisan border security deal. When pressed about the flood of illegal immigrants during the first 3 years of the Biden administration, she doubled down, saying Congress must be allowed to act to fix the problem. On the topic of the war in Gaza, Harris reiterated that Israel has a right to defend itself and how it does so matters. The topic of guns also came up, and Harris revealed she owns a Glock and that she's fired it at a shooting range. In Atlanta, MARTA is continuing to bring attention to civil rights icons. The authority revealed a bus that is themed to pay tribute to Joseph E. Lowery and Evelyn Gibson Lowery, who are both Black. Dr. Lowery was on the MARTA board of directors for nearly a quarter of a century. His wife was considered to be a historical activist. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Need better hot water? Water Heaters Only makes replacing your water heater easy. With one call and great pricing, Water Heaters Only can have you back in hot water the same day, within hours of your call. Visit waterheatersonly.com. That's waterheatersonly.com.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates Tavis Smiley on receiving the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joseph R. Biden Jr. for a lifelong commitment to using his media and philanthropic platforms to help build a stronger nation. A host of Tavis's family, friends, colleagues, and luminaries, including LA Mayor Karen Bass, joined in the celebration. KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to thank the following partners for their support: the Weingart Foundation, Dr. Shikari Byerly, Rodrigo Byerly, and the team at Aviterus Public Opinion Research, Waters Tax Service, LA Councilmember Heather Hutt, the Empowerment Congress, Wallace and Renee Fortuné, the IQ Air Foundation, Dr. Kenneth Arduna and Central Neighborhood Christian Health Clinics, LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn, Ambassador Michael A. Lawson, Ambassador Charles R. Stiff, and Attorney John E. Sweeney. Congratulations, Tavis, on your Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes,
Why should we be silent?
turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit ca-smp-volunteer.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey LA, today I'm here to talk to you about Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit in LA that focuses on renewable energy. We serve communities who have been left out of the renewable energy sector. We offer paid job training, and in 13 weeks, you can become a solar installer. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry, and once you're hired in the industry, you stop at a high, medium income. That could be $20 an hour or more. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry. Call today so you don't be left out at 323-861-0105 or gridalternatives.org, gridalternatives.org.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown. I want you to go to lesbrownpowertour.com. On October the 11th, 12th, and 13th, this weekend, we will be at the Airport Marriott, teaching people the techniques and strategies on how you can begin to live your dream right now. Many people have the ability to do more, but unfortunately, they're trying to open new doors with old keys. We're going to teach you how to monetize your brilliance with one of the speakers. We have a lady who was once a gas station cashier, and she's now a billionaire, and she's going to share her knowledge. I'm going to share with you how to tell your story, how to present yourself, and how you can earn millions of dollars with your wisdom and your experiences. October the 11th, 12th, and 13th, this weekend. Go to lesbrownpowertour.com. It's going to change your life. Spread the word. Go to lesbrownpowertour.com this weekend in LA at the Marriott at the airport. This is your moment. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Judge a book by the cover. Discover the soul brother with the mechadon, working brunette to blonde. How many Edison con when I respond in full black? With us having the Vernon villains back to back. Amazing grace when I face the great paper chase. For real, it's long overdue, so I don't wanna talk to you. I stroked the hell out of Mademoiselle who insisted every night she get her back twisted in the unlisted. I'm living through my son, so daddy see it this way. I want him in the NFL, his brother in the NBA. No doubt I'm with it.
The first thing is that our brain is not designed to feel good. It's designed to like understand things and like put things in order. Okay. So what I mean by that is that like the brain seeks to bring order from chaos. It's all about like generating patterns so that we can understand and make sense of the world. The brain would rather generate a bad pattern that makes us feel bad rather than have chaos and confusion. Okay,
Pause.
This is a really important...
No, pause. Bring that back. When I say you're normal, right? If your normal was toxic, you'd rather have that, right?
You know where to go.
What is better might be foreign. And we're all afraid of the unknown. And what did Krishnamurti say? He said, we're not afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of our known coming to an end. So if your known is toxic, that's who I am. There is no self-care until there's self-acceptance. You can't accept yourself until you stop judging, condemning. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Tearing yourself down. There's no way. Or suppressing and repressing and hiding and running and escape. Self-acceptance leads to self-care. Heavy stuff tonight. Go ahead, let it rock.
So if you look at people who get into abusive relationships over and over and over again, like why on earth do they do this? Okay, it's an interesting question. It's really fascinating once you understand it. So in the mind of someone who has been in abusive relationships, they have low value. Okay, so like I'm a bad person. I deserve to be treated like crap, right? So we just saw a post about a bunch of shame. So I'm like really ashamed of myself. Like I suck at life. I'm a POS. So then what happens is they like date two people. So one person treats them like a POS and somehow like they wind up with that person. So like, what's up with that? Like, how does that happen? And it's because the world is congruent, right? So the way that I feel about myself, other people are treating me the way that they should treat me because it's the way that I feel about myself. So the world makes sense. Things are very orderly. Let's stick with that. It's the same reason that like people who are like, you know, super narcissistic will surround themselves by like yes men or like other people who will support their narcissism. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. So I'm going to engage in relationships who help me feel about myself the way that I feel. Okay? So actually, it's slightly different in narcissism because you're looking at people to assuage your internal insecurity, but let's not go there for now. The key thing is that human beings will prefer order or a pattern that makes sense to a good pattern. And even if you look at people in who have a history of abusive relationships or a history of trauma, if they enter into a healthy relationship, if you actually talk to them, they don't say, oh, wow, this person is treating me like amazing. Like, this feels great. I never realized how much self-worth I have.
This is weird.
I never realized what I was worth. That's not actually their experience. Their experience is terrifying and confusing.
See, this is weird. Like, oh my God, you love me? You care? I'm used to disrespect. And I'm used to disrespecting the disrespect. It's my cycle. But you've identified with whatever happened way back when. When you look at any psychological work, most psychologists, most therapists, most clinicians are always doing what? Well, what happened in your childhood? That's where they start the whole process. Wait a minute. This is how you view yourself? Tell me about your childhood. Tell me what went on way back when, right? Do I have permission to hear this? Oh, yes, you do? Okay. Please share. Open up. You're safe here. It's a safe space. And then you begin to unpack what happened. Right. But you cannot become anew until you go back to what birthed you. Right. And you have to come back bearing gifts. Right. What is the gift? The very thing you don't want in the adult relationship. What do you mean, Zoe? Listen, if your norm is toxic, the person gives you the gift of consideration and love and support. You go, this is weird. I don't want this. You got to go back to your beginning with the very gift they were trying to give you that you pushed away because it was abnormal to you. Right. You got to go back to your wounds with that in order to be able to accept it externally. Give it internally in order to accept it external. Relationship is a mirror. Let's go. We got callers on the line. I want to get them all. Chakra Q, College Station, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Peace, of course, as usual. You know, it's an amazing. You've been cooking all week. And shout out to Nzinga for, vulnerability. She was
amazing, bro. Yeah.
She was. So let me get this straight. So my past experiences plus my present, condition or what's going on in my life right now is going to dictate my future in so many words. And so in going and using self-help, and kind of changing the perception on what self-help is and going towards those painful and uncomfortable feelings, my question is, at what point do you stop and prevent yourself from falling on your own sword?
Well, of course, for everybody, that's different. But when you come into the realization that the reality that you thought was your reality isn't, and you actually begin to just see yourself for really who you are, man, it's like it's the ultimate form of care. Yeah, to stop yourself from doing harm to yourself. So, a little bit what we got in the audio that just played is we are looking for an opportunity to not do so that we can be.
We're looking for an opportunity to not do so that we can be. I don't know if you really heard what he said. We are looking for an opportunity to not do.
Right.
this is why I made the distinction earlier about the spectrum of self-care. Many of us get busy doing. Let's do this. Let's do some yoga. And I'm saying that's all good if you understand that that should be the gymnasium, the training, the 8 weeks of training before you go get in the ring with that wound that needs to see your loving hands. Right? That's and many people miss that. Now, I'm going to hit you with this, brother. You said falling on your sword, right?
Right.
What do you mean by that? Do you want to fall on your sword, or are you trying to avoid falling on your sword?
No, I think when, in a nutshell, because I know we got other callers, is that
we gonna stay with you until we deal it now.
Yeah, when I first was, blessed or whatever to hear your message, right? And I had to take a whole year off just to dissect and catch up. And I know it's not about catching up, but I had to do a lot of homework just within myself, and that looked horrendous. So to be able to kind of articulate myself and my feelings, like you were talking about, embracing crying, that leveled me up. So now, once I leveled up and had a better understanding of myself, and obviously the concept of everything is kind of a mirror, not just the relationships, but relationships with everyone.
Right.
At what point, if I'm just continuously trying to get better, as we're all works in progress, when do I know if I'm like trying to be my best self? I need to pull back some, because
let me reframe
I'm too deep in the flame.
Let me reframe it. Stop trying to get better. GC, become what you already are. Remember how it works. What you believe, you can achieve. What you can conceive, you can achieve. You must see yourself as what you are. Now, mind you, consciousness is very powerful. When you start to recognize the higher qualities within yourself, right? That's the beginning of self-care. But you got to be able to look at wounds without judging wounds. Right. Don't you know when you look at a wound without judging it, you're condemning it to death? I know you put it on death row. Okay, let me do it another way. Are you familiar? What's your favorite Marvel character or movie?
Favorite character is probably Beast, and favorite movie is, I don't know, Blade.
So let me just say this. Blade is always close to death. In all three of his Blade movies, somebody done beat Blade up, caught him, drained all of his blood. Be like, oh, I need my serum. Whistler, where's my... Again, they all follow Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. And in the hero's journey, every hero is close to death, which is rebirth. So when you say follow your sword, you should welcome that opportunity. Because there's aspects of your ego that's rooted in a moment that made you feel like you weren't enough. How about that? Does that work for you?
It works for me. I got more work to do.
There you go, man. It ain't gonna stop, brother. We appreciate the heat. Thank you for the call. Let's keep it rolling. Story. Okay, Theo from South Carolina. We're gonna come to you when we come forward. And Hustle from Miami, Florida. Hustle. You better not be in Miami.
Is it good to you? Good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, just call 687-246-9655 to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees. Hello, LA. Metro is your partner for thriving communities and sustainable travel. We're dedicated to providing better transit for everyone. When you go Metro, you're more connected to jobs, healthcare, school, and loved ones. It's the way of the future. Start your journey at metro.net.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You puny protozoa, you're so minute you didn't know the gang has been watching you, but instead of just squashing you, I'm scooping you up out of the muck you wallowing like a chief chemist. Other scientists are following, planning to examine you on a petri dish, sticking you and fricking you.
Man, my playlist has been absolutely crazy tonight. Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Gangstar. We had to do it because the topic is so fire. Is self-help the only help? Not when you won't help yourself, when you're just helping yourself to activities. You got to do more than that. Theo! Charleston, South Carolina. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? We got to push it quick because we got other callers, so tell me what it is.
So I'll get to it real fast. I'll put it like this. I've been watching your show, like I said, for a long time. And I don't care how much I've watched. I had to face accountability within myself just by hearing what you say. Now, to me, that's like therapy. That's being made aware.
Nah, that's not therapy.
To the situation about me.
I'm going to be the first one.
I understand it's not therapy. I understand it's not therapy, but I'm saying to hear it over and over and over and over and over again, at some point you have to look at the self.
Right.
Right? That's all I want to say.
Yeah. You got to look at the self, but just looking at the self sometimes isn't enough. So you see the self through your sight. Are you judging the self while you're seeing it? Are you condemning the self while you're seeing it, observing it?
Yes.
So the next level,
because you have to realize you're not perfect.
So
you have to realize in that moment you're not perfect.
But hold on. The next, you had to give yourself some grace. But then the next level of sight is to be able to see without judgment, without condescension, without condemnation. Now that's another level, to be able to look at what's wrong with you without putting yourself down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
It allows you to stop protecting it.
That's why you get to a place of acceptance. I have to realize I have to accept the good and the bad of who I am.
But have you done that, Theo?
Yes,
Don't make me call you to the floor tonight.
We
We got guests here tonight. We got company.
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Don't make me I'll pull that rug out from under you, boy. Don't make me do it. All right. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Hustle from Miami, Florida. Yo, Hustle. Don't laugh at me, Hustle.
Why are you doing that, boy?
No, because he playing. He tried. Yeah, I'm all good now. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
We know you're not. We just talked to you last week. Go ahead, Hustle. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, man?
That actually works into what I was going to call about, because I heard something profound today. Mm-hmm. It was about some people's journey is to not be healed.
Ooh,
And everybody's journey ain't to get it right this go around. And as soon as you learn that, you kind of let people be where they are and go through what they got to go through.
Ooh. Sometimes you just got to let them go on and see for themselves.
I know it hurts, man, because we want to help everybody, but everybody ain't meant to be helped.
Well, that was yesterday's topic. It shouldn't, absolutely not. Hey, my brother, you already know, man. Please be safe out there. I hope you're not in Miami.
I am. I'm not leaving.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Hercules.
Just pray for me, brother.
I'm going to pray for you, brother. All right, brother. We appreciate you. Please be safe out there. Hustle is still in harm's way, but we love the brother dearly. And listen, the reason why this topic is so important to me is because I understand that a lot of people are in pain. And they think, if I do this, if I do that, everything, there's an outside point somewhere that leads. It's almost like, let's go see the Oz. You know what I'm saying? The Oz will give me a heart or a brain. And then when you get there, what did Glinda the Good Witch of the West say? If you believe in you, right? Believe in you. You mean to tell me all I had to do was click these heels and I could go? Yeah.
The power was in you all the time.
Always been there. You see, Krishnamurti says it this way: all over the world, human beings are denigrating to a greater or lesser extent. When human relationships become casual, based on pleasure, there is denigration. When self-work becomes casual, based on just feeling good, there is denigration. Yes, I want you to feel good. Yes, I want you to have the soft life. Yes, but I also want you to be prepared to see yourself and embrace yourself as you truly are. Me and Coach Baruti, we started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. This week has been on fire so far. I'll be back tomorrow with another slapper topic. The voice of reason, always cooking up that fire.